unemployment. South Africa's unemployment rate currently stands at 32.5%, and that's according to the latest figures from Statistics South Africa. Later today, South Africa is set to find out just how far it's fallen off the job scale. Let's get you a sense of what to expect and bring in Newzroom Afrika's Business Editor Xolani Mbanjwa, who joins us now via our video link. Xolani, top of mind for me as we mark the 1st of June is the plight of young people. June is often considered to be Youth Month. What kind of expectation do we have insofar as unemployment figures are concerned, specifically for young people, considering we know that they've just been among the hardest hit?
Good morning, Ayanda. Well, there isn't much that it really is expected to have changed, particularly for young people. As you said, 32.5% is the highest unemployment rate that we've had since 2008, and we know what happened at that time. It was a global financial crisis, but indeed, young people still account for a huge chunk of those who are unemployed in this country. If you look at those aged between 14 and 25 who are the youngest in that group, you will find that 63% of them are unemployed. You move on to young black Africans, just mixing males and females in that scale, you'll find they are in the 41%, and they account for the biggest chunk. And when you look at women, young women as well are in particular the most vulnerable, standing at 31%, being a group that is most affected by unemployment. Not much is expected to have changed. The market still expects an increase even above 33% because the economic fundamentals in South Africa have not gotten better. So it's really going to be expected to be a really sad one because it's really one of those things that are impacted by COVID-19 and also economic growth prospects in the country. And if you look on both scales, South Africa is not doing well, the most affected by COVID-19 pandemic on the continent. And you have to look at also our economic growth prospects, which are impacted by how far we are when it comes to rolling out the vaccine. So not much really expected with regards to those scales. Really, we are expecting that things would have been fallen off much further down the line, and it's something that the market is not raving home about at all this morning.
Right, and I guess, Xolani, help us place this move to much easier, call it much lighter restrictions, for lack of a better term. The thrust of the argument when we moved out of a harder lockdown is that we need sectors to be able to operate, to at least not necessarily have the worst case scenario insofar as the labor market is concerned. I mean, where do we place that kind of development as we look ahead to these unemployment statistics?
And if you look at it, this is the decision by the president to go to lockdown level 2 on Sunday was largely a decision that actually took South Africa to much stricter lockdowns. Curfews are much more longer than expected, and we heard yesterday from the restaurant sector about how this actually impacts on the bottom line. They are among the most impacted when it comes to the sectors that have been hardest hit during those restrictions. So it makes things worse that the curfew now is much earlier, not later at 11, which means restaurants have to close much earlier. It affects their income. So it is something that has, impacted, that will impact largely those sectors that are in the leisure space. And, they have borne the brunt of this pandemic when it comes to job numbers dwindling, incomes dwindling, and it's not going to make a matters worse. Some people are saying that, it's not level 3, at least it's not level 4 or 5. We might not get to level 5 in future, but still, this going from level 1 to level 2 presents a bad situation for sectors that are already on their knees. So nothing to be happy about that. Alcohol sales are still allowed. It's still when you look at it, the illicit sector has taken hold on that one as well. So we are expecting that those numbers are going to be, the unemployment numbers are not going to paint a glowing picture at all in various sectors, particularly that informal sector as well.
Really troubling prospects there. Xolani Mbanjwa, thanks very much indeed. He's Newzroom Afrika's business editor.